Okay, so now we are. All right. Now I think we have to start again.
Yeah. So do we have Commissioner Chard?
Chard? I don't know. Is Commissioner Chard on?
I do not believe so. He is not on. He was in the waiting room. He left. Cheryl saw him leave and now he's back in again, so.
Okay, and Michelle, it said that we were in a practice session, so I don't know if that meant it wasn't recording.
Yeah, it was not.
Okay,
are
so
now
we need
recording.
to, okay, so we probably need to start over then.
Yes.
Yeah, let me know if you are ready to begin the meeting, because we have to redo it, and I want to make sure Commissioner Chard is able to join us. It appeared to be his intent to join us tonight.
Mhm.
Okay. Blake is not found.
Hmm. Can you
Maybe
send him an email or
send an
call him?
email, yeah, say that we are now, it's all working, he can rejoin us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michelle, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's someone on the meeting by the name of Liam as a panelist. Oh, that just went away. Okay.
Okay, that was him. He just left. Okay. Simon, did you email Blake to rejoin or do you want me to?
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Mhm. We don't see him rejoining at this point yet.
Well, let's proceed to start a meeting, and then if he joins us later, he can always join. At least we have a quorum right now, so
Yeah.
there's no need to delay further.
Okay.
So I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we'll begin by roll calling. I'm Simon T. I'm the chair for the City of Tualatin Civil Service Commission.
Michelle
And
Sutherland. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry. And I'm Pat Schneider, Commissioner for the Civil Service Commission.
Michelle Sutherland, Secretary Examiner.
We'll try introducing ourselves with our audio on this time. Brian Hurley, I'm the fire chief.
Carlos Quiles, Police Lieutenant.
Carlos,
That's all we have here.
Okay.
Carlos, what is your last? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your last name.
Quiles.
Quiles, okay. Thank you, officer. So before we begin, are there any proposed changes to the agenda?
None on my part.
I have none.
Okay. That case, let's proceed to to the next item, which is the approval of minutes of the November 14, 2024 meeting minutes. I have read the meeting minute, and I don't have any comments or suggested changes. It looked good. It looked good to me. So, how about you, Commissioner Schneider?
Everything looked fine to me.
And would you like to move that this meetings be approved or adopted?
Yes, I move that the minutes of the meeting of November 14th be approved.
I second the motion, and those of us who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so the motion's approved, so the November 14, 2024 Civil Service Commission's meeting minutes officially adopted. The next item on the agenda is status of December eligibility list. Ms. Sutherland?
So the status of the Civil Service December 2024 eligibility list. We do not have many changes. We had in November the lateral fire prevention officer that was completed. Many of the lists are active and continuous. And that is all I have for the eligibility list update.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Commissioner Schneider, any question, comments on that?
No, I have no questions or comments.
All right, well, thank you. Neither do I. Let's move on to the next item, number 6, changes in fire probation language.
Yes, when we completed fire bargaining this year, one thing that was discussed was the length of the employee probationary period. So we have some current civil service language for the length of the probationary period. And we also have some new contract language. And it's, one of the changes would be that they may be required to serve a maximum of 18-month probationary period, unless as extended by civil service rules. Brian, did you want to explain that just a little bit?
Yeah, through our bargaining process, we do interest-based bargaining. It really was an interest of both parties, labor and management, to change our probation from keep it a minimum of 12 months, but up to a maximum of 18 months. And Michelle, if you could scroll down a little bit to the language on the upper part. I'll just point out that it's actually the third paragraph where it says entry-level and lateral firefighters. That is the new language. And this is in some ways similar to police in that we have new hires. They may have to go to an academy related to emergency medical services. So it could be an emergency medical technician or paramedic training. And sometimes they also have to go to fire academy, which is for 16 weeks. So for instance, we're hiring a group of employees on January 1st. And by the time they're completed they complete all of their academy training, it will be sometime in June. And that's when we would like their probationary period to start. So our interest is to change it to a minimum of 12 up to 18. And that certainly doesn't preclude us from extending it further under the first paragraph of this section if it's needed.
What is the current language? Is it a minimum of 12 and no mention of the maximum?
Correct. Right now, it's just 12 months. And if we need to extend it beyond that period, which we've done before, we would have to come back to the commission to do that. Mm-hmm. So basically, we're just asking to allow us to have it be up to 18 months without having to come back to the commission for any action.
Got it. Is this applicable? Is this change in the probationary period applicable only to firefighters and paramedics?
That's correct. This would be specific to the fire department. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Schneider?
No, I don't have any. And it looks like Blake has joined us now. He's muted.
Well, welcome aboard, Commissioner Chart. Are you with us?
Can you hear us? Blake, can you hear us? You're muted. There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
I can't answer until I get it unmuted. Yeah, I'm here.
For the record, Commissioner Chart just joined us. Thank you. So we'll on agenda item number 6 about the revise of the new civil service rules concerning the length of probationary period. Essentially, it's changed from 12 months to a minimum of 12 months to a maximum of 18 months. You have any question or comments, Commissioner Chart?
I don't.
So, Ms. Sadlin, I am not quite sure. According to the agenda item, this is not an item that is that requires the commission's approval, or unless it was a misstatement on the agenda. Can you clarify that?
The changes to the fire probation language?
Yeah, is that subject to the commission's approval?
It is, yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, they didn't say that it is the approval of the changes. Okay, so in that case, we'll have to vote on this item then. Any motion for adoption of this new rule for the probation period that only applicable to firefighters and paramedics?
I'll move that we adopt the new language for the firefighters.
I'll second.
And those of us who approve of the new language say aye.
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 Aye. So the new proposed language is hereby adopted, approved. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 7 on the agenda, which is Certified Police Officer Exam Plan.
Yes, so open recruitment, we'd like it posted continuously beginning December 13th. The certified police officer exam plan for December 2024. And did you have any questions regarding the process? We do have the lieutenant here this evening, if there are any.
Is this plan subject to the commission's approval also?
It is, yes. It's certifying an exam plan for a police officer.
All right. In that case, before we vote on it, any question or comments, Commissioner?
Not for me.
I have none.
Okay, then Cassie, do we have a motion?
I move we approve the certified police officer exam plan.
And I'll second it.
And those of us who approve of the motion say aye.
Aye.
So the certified police officer exam plan, December 2024, hereby approved, adopted. One thing I'd like to ask for the record, that the agenda items 6 and 7 be edited or revised to say that approval of, the word approval of be added the front of the title for these two items on the agenda. So
Okay.
Okay.
Note taken. I will let our analysts know
you.
that.
So let's move to item number 8, which is approval of entry-level police eligibility list.
Yes, we do have this continuous listing for entry-level police officer. The changes for the month of December, we had 2 people removed from the list for failing the chief's interview, and we did add 4 candidates to the list and seeking approval for the entry-level police officer list.
So I'll move that we approve the entry officer list.
I'll second that.
Any of us, anyone approve of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye, so the police officer entry level eligible list is hereby adopted, approved. We'll move to item number 9.
Item number 9 is a list for the lateral firefighter posting. We do have the examination date on here, which is a continuous posting and continuous list. We had 2 candidates added to the list, and we had 2 removed, and the reason that they were removed from the list is that they were hired.
Yay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any question, comment, Commissioner?
Have none.
None.
Any motion?
I move we approve the lateral firefighter list as presented.
And I will second the motion.
And those of us who approve of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. So the lateral firefighter eligible list is hereby approved and adopted. And we'll move on to item number 10, approval of lateral paramedic firefighter eligible list.
Yes, we do have this lateral paramedic firefighter eligibility list, which is again continuous. We have 1 candidate added to the list, and we had 3 removed, 2 for failing the chief's interview and 1 that was hired. So seeking approval for this listing. Adding the 1 candidate and removing the 3.
Thank you. Any question, comments, Commissioner?
No.
Nope.
Any motion?
I'll move that we approve the lateral paramedic firefighter list.
I'll second that motion.
And those of us who approve of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. So the lateral paramedic firefighter eligible list hereby approved and adopted. And we'll move to item number 11 of the agenda, which is approval of paramedic firefighter eligible list.
I'm seeking approval for this listing. We had some changes. We didn't have anyone new added to the list, but we had 6 candidates removed. 2 of them, as they were hired, 1 failed the chief's interview, and the prior 3 did withdraw.
Okay, any question or comments, commissioners?
Well, yeah, I just had a question. 3 withdrew. I was just curious. It seemed like a lot, and what the reason was.
Yeah, we've, the reason primarily is they got hired in other jurisdictions. So for instance, I know 2 of them, if not all 3, were hired in Olympia, I believe. I might be corrected on that, but I'm pretty sure at least 2 did. But they're candidates, we're in the process of hiring a number of paramedics right now. They are candidates that we had conditional offers out to, but at the same time, they end up accepting a job with another employer.
And do you know why they chose, Olympia or Lacey over Tumwater?
I can't speak to each individual case. I really can't speak to that.
Okay. I was just curious if it was pay or there were some other reasons. Okay.
I have a question. It's probably best for the update. Just not maybe at the end you can tell us where you are. I know you were going to try to hire quite a few. It looks like you got a pretty good start on it. So
Absolutely, I can give you an update during the updates.
okay.
Right, any other question, comments, Commissioner?
Nope.
No.
Any motion?
I'll move that we approve the paramedic firefighter list.
I'll second that motion.
And those of us who approve of the motion said aye.
All right.
Aye.
So the paramedic firefighter eligible list is now approved and adopted. Now we move to item 12 of the agenda, which is Police Sergeant Exam Plan.
Yes, recruiting for a police sergeant. It's an open recruitment period posted for 2 weeks in December. The steps and the phases are outlined here as part of the process for completing that hire.
Is this plan the same as before? I mean, has there been any changes to it, to the plan compared with previous version, or is this the same plan that has been used for police sergeant?
Lieutenant, did you know if there was an update to this plan?
There is not. This is the exact same plan we used last time.
Okay, thank you.
However, just a minor question. Why the open recruitment period if starts in January 2025? Aren't we currently under the same plan that was approved last for this year previous?
But there was an expiration date, which I believe was mid-December.
Okay, so is this become effective mid-December or January?
The posting will be posted for the last 2 weeks of December. The candidate screening will then occur after that with a written test starting phase 1 on January 9th.
So is the written test then January 9th, 2025? Is that what it should say?
Oh, that should say 2025.
Okay,
I think that was a typo that
okay.
3 or 4 people caught. Okay.
So we'll
Mhm.
should note in the record that the January 9th, phase 1 written test, January 9th, 2024 should be corrected to read 2025. And
And
so
then
it's,
same thing on phase 2. I guess assessment center should say January 23, 2025.
yep.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions, commissioners?
Well, we got down the bottom, it says consideration for list approval on January 13th. 2025, and we're talking about approving it tonight, so.
We're approving the exam plan this evening to go ahead and complete that process and then,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they
Get
hope to
a-
have the
on the
list
third.
back to you in January.
Is that our next meeting, January the 13th?
Yes,
Okay,
I believe that is the goal.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other question, comments, commissioners?
No,
No,
Do we have a motion for this one?
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we approve the plan with the following changes. The written test is January 9th, 2025. Yes, assessment center will be January 23rd, 2025. And for that statement, I'd like to insert the last 2 weeks of December. So you'd insert last between 4 and 2.
Okay, noted.
Or it should
Thank
be
you,
for
Commissioner.
the
Any other
last.
comments, questions?
no, and I'll second that motion.
Okay. Thank you. That was a motion. Sorry. Any, those of us who approve of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. So motion approved, and the police sergeant exam plan January 2025 is hereby adopted and approved. So let's move to the next item is number 12, I believe, on the agenda, which is police. No, that was item number 12. Let's move to number 13, reclass administrative assistant to executive assistant. Ms. Sutherland?
Yes, currently we have an administrative assistant working, and her role has, as it says, evolved significantly over the course of time with quite a few additional responsibilities that really exceed the typical scope of a administrative assistant. So we're requesting a reclassification of position for her from administrative assistant to executive assistant to better serve the fire department in that capacity.
Yeah, I had quite a few questions. Is there any way that you could help me understand what the current job description is of the admin assistant and what the job description would be for the executive assistant, and compare the two to see what has changed, what has been added? I'd like to see a comparison of that.
Okay, I believe, Chief, did you have that available?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not logged into my drive to
Okay,
access any of that right now. Apologies on that.
Yeah, because
I
I'd like
mean,
to see what's
speaking-
changed.
Yeah, speaking kind of generally, and please, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the administrative assistant duties, they were certainly in support of the fire chief and the department, but a lot of them were administrative in nature. Whereas in the current person currently in that role, the position's evolved. Really, they do supervise the department assistant. And that position has taken on much more budget responsibility, and also supporting, our collective bargaining in kind of a confidential way, and certainly has all responsibilities related to payroll in the department. And just for information, we currently have 53 FTEs, and with our new hiring, we're going to have 62 FTEs. And as we've grown, it seems that job has evolved and the responsibilities have evolved as well.
Okay, and this is just one person, one title that's being affected, only one employee?
That's correct. What we did was there is an executive assistant position that exists within the city. It was primarily to support, and again, correct me, Michelle, the city administrator and city council. We've taken that and really modified it to fit the fire department. So we've basically created a subclass of that executive assistant job classification that's more specific to the fire department.
So there is only one single administrative assistant within the city of Tumwater, or are there multiple employees holding that classification?
there are multiple administrative assistants assigned to various departments. So it is one position for the fire department.
And
So
so I assume with this increased responsibility, there'll be an increase in salary, is that correct?
There is, along with a non-represented market increase this year.
And how much is that increase on like a dollar basis or a percentage basis? of the current salary?
It actually varies. We did a complete market analysis with comparable cities, completing the salary analysis, comparing like positions in different cities that are comparable to Tumwater, and we found that most of the positions in Tumwater, the non-represented, were anywhere between 10 and 22 to 25% behind other like cities. So, as part of the market increase, it was really based on position itself and how that flowed across the market.
And so how much is this one going up? Is it going up 10% or more?
It would be going up 2 salary grades. So what that would equate to is 8 to 10%.
Okay, and so, and in dollar wise, do you know what that is?
I don't have it in front
I
of
don't
me.
have it
We
computed.
can certainly provide that, I think.
Okay, and how is that being funded? Is it coming from another budget, or how is that
It
gonna
was-
be?
Yeah, it was part of the position was placed as part of the mayor's proposed budget, which was adopted by council last Tuesday night.
Okay,
Mhm. And one thing I will say is, with the police department, they have different levels of support as well. A police administrative manager and, different levels below that. The fire department has the one executive assistant and one department assistant for the departments and the work that's completed. Just as a comparison of amount of staffing.
okay, and is this is for the fire department, the executive assistant?
Yes.
Okay. So they don't have one now, or they're getting one? I'm sorry, I didn't follow what you were saying.
The fire department currently has one administrative assistant and one department assistant. Just looking at the two civil service entities that we have, the police department has many more levels of administrative support within their department. And quite a few more employees in that capacity.
In this case, Commissioner, the existing person in the administrative position, admin assistant position would be reclassed as an executive assistant. So we'll continue just to have two support employees. Yes.
Okay,
So
thank you.
how many employees will be impacted by this reclassification? Was it just one or
I think it was just
multiple?
one.
Just one.
But I thought, Ms. Sutherland, didn't you say there are several administrative assistants within the city of Tumwater?
Administrative assistants, yes, within our various different departments. And this position in the fire department as an administrative assistant only supports the fire department. So we do have several FTEs, full-time equivalents of that position within the city, but asking the increased level of responsibility with the administrative assistant at the fire department over the course of time. That's why we'd like to reclassify her to executive assistant.
So you are reclassifying this classification of administrative assistant to executive, but if you do that, wouldn't it impact those other employees who are holding the same position?
It does not.
What classification, job classification do the other administrative assistant work in? I mean, if you reclass a position, wouldn't that impact anyone if they are?
But this is specifically within under the Civil Service Commission. The other departments don't have that classification particularly.
So they are administrative assistant in other department within City of Tumwater, except they are not within the Civil Service Commission rule. I mean, subject to the Service Commission.
Correct, because we have them assigned to different departments. The administrative assistant, say in Parks and Recreation, isn't going to be doing the same thing as the administrative assistant in engineering.
That's why it'd be good to see the job descriptions for the admin assistant and the executive assistant, and probably compare the two, and then you can also look at them from other departments, because you're right, Simon. I mean, it might impact other departments.
Yeah, if especially when you reclass a same position or classification that as they have multiple occupants or incumbents, and if you only try to change the classification, reclass it, but not only apply to one single employee, that seems a little bit like
So may I
yeah.
pipe in on how I see it? This is a reclassification of a position, a FTE. And so all they're doing is they're taking that position and changing definition of what that position is going to do. It's not a reclassification of a class.
Correct.
Positions. It's a reclassification of a particular FTE. And so that administrative assistant position in the fire department will go away. And the person that's in there will then be classified as an executive assistant.
Correct.
So is, so there
Yeah,
is
but
an
the issue,
executive assistant class right now, right? Is there any executive assistant class right now?
Yes, we have an executive assistant that works in a different department for the city manager and the council.
So there is a executive assistant classification, job classification. So you want to promote this administrative assistant within the fire department to executive assistant position classification?
Correct, but each position is classified as an executive assistant, but they have different duties based on the department.
so it might not be apples to apples. That's why I was
Correct.
asking for the job description, you know, because that I think is the best way to determine if they're, you know, equal positions or not.
Interesting.
I guess I would just add that, you know, we've had this administrative assistant position for a number of years, and that what's happened is the work that they've done has evolved to the point where the work they're doing for the fire department administrative assistant does not line up directly with what other departments are doing with employees in that position. And I think, as Michelle kind of mentioned, the unique thing about the fire department is that since they are full-time employees of the fire department, they're covered by civil service. So in order to make the change, we have to bring that to the commission. So yeah, to Commissioner Chard's point, it's not changing the class for everybody else. It's just taking our administrative assistant and reclassifying that position to what more reflects what she does, which is an executive assistant.
Okay, so the job description for the current administrative assistant in the fire department, the job duties have changed and the new duties are more in line with the executive assistant classification.
Yes.
That's correct, and that's what Michelle had lined out here, some of those
Got
key
it.
changes.
So let's take a look at, as Commissioner Schneider requested, could
Let's take a
you
look at
all
the job
provide
description.
that description of the job duties, that we can take a closer look at it and maybe you know, we can put this item in the next meeting agenda. Would that be all right?
Yeah, let's table it to the next meeting and we can revisit it, but and you know, review it between this meeting and the next meeting.
Well, as part of that, Michelle, I'd like you to research out and see what the commission has the authority to do. I have no problem with reviewing it, but I think my understanding is the only thing we can do is approve it or disapprove it.
I think it probably will be good to take a look at what is the current description for the job duties of administrative assistant and the job duties of executive assistant, to see the new duties, whether the new duties align with the executive assistant's classification.
Okay.
Yeah, we can approve it without looking at it to make sure that, you know, is the new duties fit within the executive assistant's classification as you requested. So
Okay, we will bring that back to the next meeting.
Thank you.
but thank you for bringing it up for consideration. Appreciate it. And so for this item, we'll retable it to next meeting, and no motions made for now. Essentially, we just table it until the next meeting. So let's move to item number 14, which is the next meeting date schedule. Actually, it says here January the 9th, 2025. It's not the 13th. Which is the right date? Is that the 13th or the 9th for next meeting?
Let's look in our calendars.
I have the 9th on my calendar.
Yeah, it should be the 9th. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's
the
the 9th.
second Thursday, yeah.
Mhm.
So do we need to make a note of that or correction on the the last document we mentioned, January 13th for 2025? I think that's is it the sergeant exam plan that need to be?
Yeah, one of the eligibility lists, or it was one of those.
Yeah, it's police sergeant exam plan. And on the bottom says consideration for list approval.
Mhm.
It should be January 9th.
Okay,
Okay, let's make a note of that document, that sentence regarding the date be corrected to read from January the 9th, 2025 to January the 13th. I mean, be correct from January 13, 2025 to January 9th, 2025.
January 9th, correct.
Well, thank you. So no issue with next meeting's date. Let's move on to the next item, which is adjournment. Before that, let's take an update. Let's have an update from each department, if it's okay. We can begin with Chief Hurley. You want to begin?
Yeah, you bet. As Commissioner Chard had mentioned, update on it, because really the big thing we have going on right now is hiring paramedics for the new paramedic unit. That required 9 new positions, which were approved in the budget. As a reminder, Medic One funds a substantial part of that. About 80% of that cost is funded by Medic One. So we have currently 3 of those employees were hired December 1st. We have 2 more that have signed their offers to start January 1st, and we have 5 others that probably within the next week, if they complete all of the final steps, we should have signed offers from them hopefully as well. That's a total of 10, but that's because we also have an opening created by a retirement and a promotion. And that was mentioned earlier in the meeting. One of our fire lieutenants, Scott Kennedy, was promoted to fire prevention officer. So that created another opening. We're very excited to get these candidates on board. The mix will be 5 of them will be entry level. So they'll have to go to the fire academy, and 5 of them are laterals, and they are paramedics. Really, one of them is from Virginia. One of them used to work here in Thurston County and is returning from Gig Harbor, and a handful of others with a considerable amount of experience, which is going to help us get them on board quicker. So right now we have basically 10 new employees in the hiring pipeline.
Great, congratulations.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a heavy lift for a department of 53 to hire 10. So yes, it's been a lot of work. I'll turn it over to Carlos.
Highest number of new employees at any point in time, and I mean,
That's the most probably any department here in the city is hired at any one time, for sure. Yeah.
Congratulations. Yes, that's good.
great.
That's good. Thank you, Chief. Officer Kalis, do you have anything to update, to provide on the report on?
Yeah, currently, we have a new officer starting on December 16th. And brand new, so they'll be going to the academy. We have another lateral officer that's getting close to finishing their background investigation. They're coming to us from Virginia. And then we have one more that just started the background process, I believe. And we're currently in the process of trying to fill, I guess we now have 2 open vacancies. Our recruit at the academy injured himself playing basketball over the weekend with his son a couple weeks ago. Re-aggravated a previous injury, and he was unable to return and made the decision to resign. So that unfortunately, he was a really good candidate, but he, after speaking with his wife and his family, decided that the long road to recovery for that injury just wasn't going to work with the profession. So that's kind of where we're at with the police department right now.
Well, thank you for the update. I'm sorry to hear about that officer's injury.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other business to discuss for the good order before we adjourn?
No?
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn the meeting.
And I second the motion, and those of us approve of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, commissioners. Michelle, could you stay for a minute? I cannot need to talk to you. After is turn off the record. or you can call, I can call you. Can you give me your number?
We'll go ahead and leave the meeting here. Good
Yeah,
night,
we'll-
everyone.
Goodbye.
Good night. Have a good holidays. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays, everybody.
You all too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Michelle, what's your number? The phone number?
360-701-1838.
All right. Let me call you right back after we turn off the recording.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.